All right, episode 26 of the fabtcg Vodcast.
It's funny every time.
A little bit later than intended. Not to avoid doxing ourselves too much, but a number of snowstorms leading to delays.
You could just say real life situations.
That's true, but I figure snowstorms, narrows it down to half of the planet.
True.
But
But which half? You're gonna have to Google that yourself.
But the beauty of this, since originally we were going to record last week and then we wouldn't have been able to do this video, is that now all of the Outsider spoilers have come out, so we can actually do Outsiders. The downside being that the card gallery isn't really updated on their website, so we must come to other sources, which is nothing against Fabrary. It's just nice when they have their own card gallery, so they have all the pictures and artwork, and the cards are easy to sort by. But
I mean, technically, they were sponsored spoilers from...
Were they?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were one of the categories.
I assume that the ones that don't have card art were probably spoiled in a different language. That's my guess.
It
so
could be.
Instead of trying to copy over the image and make it work, that they just did the placeholder. But
I don't think... I don't remember seeing them though, because there were some that I watched in other languages.
Oh, okay, yeah. So maybe it's just something where if it's from a video, he'd have to rip it to put it into this.
They might have just not spoiled it. I'm really not sure where they got it from.
Well, there was box breaks, so presumably every card should have been seen in the box breaks,
true,
right?
That is true, yeah.
Because they did at least 6.
Yeah.
So that's got to be enough for every card to show itself, aside from Fables.
Especially the commons, yeah.
Yeah, especially the commons and the rares, which is all we care about. And I don't think there's many rares we care about. From a cursory glance of this list, I believe almost all of them were things that already existed, like Spider's Bite and then something else. There's 2 weapons that were in the rare category.
There are?
Oh, yes, there is. There are 2 weapons that are rares. They're the only rares that we care about because they're the only ones we can use. It is Spider's Bite and Harmonized Kadachi.
That's a rare?
It is. They printed that rare in Outsiders.
Okay. All right. I mean...
I guess they have common versions too, but...
You're going to find that ironic when we get later down in the...
What? There's Majestic ones, I know.
Yes.
Is that what you're referring to? We don't care about those.
But it would be funny.
Those are draft chaff that we just put towards buying more common cards.
It would be funny to look at what they do, though.
Oh, are they yeah? Okay, all right. Mm-hmm. We'll have to get to it. Yeah, one of us has looked ahead.
Yep.
This will be my first impression on pretty much all of these.
I have no impulse control.
So we have this set in ascending order.
Rarity.
So that we're starting with the tokens, which is going to be a little bit weird for the tokens that are created by cards that we haven't seen yet, but...
Yes,
that some of us have not seen yet.
It's fine. They're pretty much self-explanatory. And in a way, it means you'll know what the card does. And not have to reference.
Yeah, rather than when we do the normal card gallery and we're like, I have no idea what this means. And then we scroll down and we're like, oh, I get what it means now, and go back up.
Yep.
Although Uprising wasn't too bad because they had Marvel versions of all those tokens. So we got the tokens at the top and then this stuff. Also, too, these will be in a kind of weird order, I assume. Because the tokens will be all over the place.
I'm not really sure the order. It might be alphabetical.
I think it's alphabetical, yeah. Based on the tokens. The tokens are. So it's going to be a little bit all over the place, too. But we're just going to go down the list and see what we think of all of these.
It's alphabetical and also by type and color.
Is it? By color? When we get down further?
Like red,
they're all together?
Red, yellow, they're all together.
Yeah, well, if you do it by alphabetical order, it ends up that way, too.
Alphabetical type.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, alphabetical first and then by... Yeah. Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah, regardless. We get to start off the list with a new hero. This is where we start to get to some of those problems that we just talked about mere seconds ago, in the sense that the new Arachne gives your first attack with stealth. Each turn, go again.
Yep.
Don't know what stealth is yet.
Do you want me to tell you?
It's like a keyword that's on things, right?
It's exactly what it is. It's just a keyword. It does nothing.
Yeah, so it's basically like all the previous assassin cards. Yeah. Well, they do kind of do something to contracts, but from the way we've built all of our Arachne decks, every other part of what contract does is basically irrelevant.
It's like contract, but the opposite, I guess, because it's like a catalyst, I guess.
Okay.
It depends on other cards.
I'm going to have to
are triggered
see
off
it
of it
to understand what you're
It'll
saying.
make more sense later. Or if you read the other assassin. I don't know. You'll see.
Interesting.
But okay. In my opinion, this new Arachne's kind of...
Oh, here we go. That's better. That's better.
Kind of mid.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to see what the stealth cards are. So obviously, first concern, we're down a point of health from the other Arachne. That said, just my gut impression seeing this, it reminds me of Ira, and maybe that's just because both of them have probably the shortest text boxes of any hero.
I could be completely wrong.
Yeah,
but I don't think I am.
But I mean,
it might be outside of commoner. This is like ludicrous. Who knows?
I could see possibly that being the case. Just my gut thing though is like your first attack getting go again. If you build like all stealth stuff, like that's just a generically good thing. Mm-hmm. Like it's not a hero that's necessarily going to be fun to build around. Much like Ira. Like Ira's not that fun to build around because all she does is make your second attack hit harder. So it's like. That's irrelevant to how you build the deck.
Right.
The only thing that makes Ira fun to any sense to build around is that she has a specialization card, but that also doesn't alter the way you approach deck building. This one at least seems a little bit more like that, but it does seem like it's just a generically good thing. I'm excited to see the new weapons. There are a lot of weapons here, way more than I expected to find in tokens.
Yep. So there's no change in Azalea, but... There is the new bow.
New bow, which is available to everyone. Mm-hmm. I saw that it does what every bow needs to do, which is put an arrow card from your hand into your arsenal.
Yep.
But then you can also flip a face down one to put an aim counter on it. Do we remember what aim counters... Oh, aim counters don't do anything. There's just cards that do things based on aim counters.
Yep.
Okay. I don't think... This could change my opinion as we get further through this list, obviously. But just seeing this bow, I don't think this is enough to make those aim counter cards good. I don't think. Yet. My opinion may change as we get further down if there's a lot more aim cards that are really good.
This bow is mainly actually for the new Archer Riptide.
Okay.
I think.
We'll have to see. Because I am curious how that works with the next thing that is listed down here. Mm-hmm. Because that is described as a two-handed weapon. So in theory, it is taking up your whole weapon slot. So I'm very curious what a quiver does. And then we have Blood Rot Pox.
Yep.
I'm getting Elden Ring vibes right off the rip.
It's a token.
It deals 2 damage to you unless you pay 3. Okay, so you just put it... So it's like Frostbite counters, but they do something at the end of the turn.
Yep.
And what they do is hit you a lot.
It does hit you for damage.
Yes. 2 is a fair amount. Like, it doesn't sound crazy, but, like, how many times has 1 point been relevant?
Right.
Like, the very first game we ever played of Flesh and Blood, in which you jokingly said that all you needed was 1 hit point, and then you killed me from that point. I've never seen someone have their confidence proven correct so quickly. And so, I mean, 2 damage is huge, and, like, 3 to pay is obscenely expensive. It's beginning of your end phase. So I think it is before you draw up.
Yep. Because
you end phase starts, you arsenal, and then draw up.
Yeah,
I believe.
That sounds right.
So I think that means it would happen before you draw. And I think that tracks with all the other things that would have you draw a card before your end phase or whatever. So, like, that probably even happens right before you arsenal, too. Not that that will matter with Blood Rot Pox, but... I mean, that seems cool. That seems like something that would be fun to build around, where you're just stacking pox on people. Mm-hmm. So, I assume there will be something that builds around that later on.
Yes.
All right, and we have
new cracked bobble.
Yeah, well, it's not really a new crack bobble either. That artwork is the traditional one.
Well, that would have been easier.
Again, that sounds stupid. There are different artworks of cracked bobble, and not just including the Christmas promo one.
I haven't seen that, but
yes, there's a cold foil. There's a cold foil cracked bobble. I think
shiny
I have
red
one.
And green.
I think I have one. Oh. Yeah, it looks like it's covered in tinsel and things like that. But there are a number of different sets where the cracked bobble gets more and more cracked, and this is the least cracked version.
Okay.
It's back to the original. I am excited here. They are equipment. Oh, so it's just equipment. It's a new slot.
Yep, it's equipment that's also a specialization.
Where do you put that on the board?
It does.
Oh, that's probably why it's a specialization, isn't it? In a weapon zone. So you put it in the second weapon slot, even though you in theory don't have one.
Because technically it's on your back.
Yeah. What I do like about this is that now Azalea, Riptide, and Ira have specialization cards in Commoner.
Yep.
Woo! We did it, boys! All right, so Azalea's specialization. Whenever an arrow is put face up into your arsenal from your deck, you may pay 1. If you do, put an aim counter on it. So they want Azalea to be the aim ranger.
Mm-hmm.
So the bow by itself isn't good enough to make aim cards good. Crow's Nest might be. It's hard to say. It's not a super huge effect, but it is like a free weapon slot Azalea gets over other rangers.
Right.
Well, not over Riptide, but over Lexi anyways.
Poor Lexi.
Oh, you say that, but I think Lexi still smokes Azalea.
That is true. There are people who would disagree heavily. Apparently, there is an entire cult for Azalea.
Well, she was a fan favorite when she first came out.
No, I mean there's an actual cult.
Okay.
Like some of the spoiler videos were.
Oh, that's really funny.
A cult.
I know that she
Azalea.
was a very popular hero originally. There's a lot of big content creators who listed Azalea as their favorite. And I get it to a certain degree, which is funny. It's probably one of my least favorite classes.
I think it appeals to people who like chess.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I think there's a lot more skill expression to it in a certain
strategy.
Way. Yeah, where there's it's clunkier to use, but that in a way makes it more fun if you're looking for something like Briar's not that engaging. You're just dump. Just hand onto the board. Doesn't even cost anything, so you don't have to pay for anything. You're just, okay, which has go again? That first. This one has go again, that second, and then you just dump. So, that's not that fun. Whereas, Azalea's a lot more fun, for people who are looking for that kind of thing. Which is, I think, why I have so much fun with the Ice Wizard, which I didn't expect, because you've seen me play many card games now, and I play a lot of aggro decks, not many control decks.
I think we're both that way.
Yeah.
There are times
but
where
the Ice
we
Wizard
do
is
slip.
fun.
We do slip.
Yeah. The Ice Wizard is fun. It's probably the most fun I've had with a control deck ever.
And I do like Lexi.
Yeah.
As a tempo deck.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes Lexi so fun, too, is that she is kind of aggro, but with a more controlling aspect to it.
I'm wondering if there are cards from this set that will slip into Lexi. I'm not sure, because they're kind of more towards...
I mean, if it's too built around traps and arrows, it will be difficult. But I think it could be doable.
In Commoner... Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out.
I won't spoil it.
Okay, so on to the next quiver, Driftwood Quiver. I love the artwork that they have for their cards. Destroy the quiver, put a card from your arsenal on the bottom of your deck. So, I mean, if you build Riptide, I assume you're going to use this, regardless.
Right.
Because it's a free slot. I mean, you will use this a non-zero number of times.
I think...
But it will be pretty close to 0, I think. Because, I mean, how often do you want to just throw something out of your arsenal?
Well, you say that, but there are cards that do deal with the arsenal.
Okay.
You'll find out.
Okay, if there's new things that play around that?
Yes.
Okay, I could see that. Well, because I'm looking at this quiver, and, the first thing that comes to mind, and you'd almost never do this, but, if Lexi had this card, she may actually use it. Mm-hmm. Because there will be times that you will put an ice card in your arsenal just to flip it for the frostbite token, and then you have to get it out so you can put an arrow in.
Also, I think Riptide has...
Oh, is this for like flipping a trap and then you put it back into your deck and then you can load up your bow?
I can't remember.
Because there was a lot of traps, and from what I remember, I briefly looked at Riptide, and I think the idea was to make him a trap ranger. I think that was the idea they came into it with. Which makes sense. There wasn't a trap ranger before, so... So I could see that. Because like otherwise Lexi's the only one I think of for that, but at the same time, like usually you flip the ice card and then you're happy to play it. Like usually. But a quiver like this would be really great for Lexi because on reflection, I would almost rather put the ice card there, flip it to give him a frostbite token, and then put it back in my deck so I can fuse with it later.
Yep,
but obviously you can't use it.
Just Riptide.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll give Lexi a quiver later.
Okay, and then Frailty. Your attack action cards played from Arsenal and weapon attacks have -1.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Not hugely life-altering.
Yeah.
But not a bad thing if it just comes bolted extra.
I think of the aura tokens, it's kind of the weaker one, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that 1 damage might matter.
What does Inertia do then?
Yep.
Put all cards from your hand in Arsenal on the bottom of your deck. Okay.
So that's kind of where the quiver could come in handy. Although I guess it kind of does that for you. Never mind. I don't know.
Huh? Yeah, it would have gone back there anyways.
Yeah.
That's not huge, but that is kind of brutal against Icelander. That's brutal against her and then other rangers.
Yep. Because
it prevents you from arsenaling things. Not only does it blow up your arsenal, but it prevents you from arsenaling things because you have to get rid of all your cards before you would go to arsenal.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. That sucks. All right. Riptide. Whenever you play a card from your hand or from hand, you may put a card from hand face down in your arsenal. Okay, so whenever you play a card, you can arsenal a card.
Yep. So I guess
once you play a card from your hand. So you can't play from the arsenal.
Right.
So it's not like if you arsenal an arrow, play the arrow, you can reload.
So it might be you have something in your arsenal, but you want something else in there. So you could play something.
You break his quiver, get rid of it, play something, arsenal something.
Yep.
Okay. I can see. All right. And then, I saw that had... I didn't read the first half. I saw the trap part.
Yeah.
So it just makes your traps deal extra damage, which seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
Man. Looks like a normal fish merchant.
Oh, yeah.
And then you look at the next artwork, and life was not kind to him, was it?
He's got, barnacles growing on him.
He does. And green gas coming out of his mouth. All right.
Yep, I think he's been...
he's been through it.
He's been partaking of his own supply.
Yeah, true.
Huffing those traps.
Yeah.
So
and then I saw Azuri. I did not read Azuri, but I saw that Azuri has an entire Lord of the Rings novel in her tooltip here.
Really? Well,
yeah. I mean, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
What is that? What the heck?
So I think I'm most excited about Azuri.
She is the only new hero that has 20 health.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Totally aside.
Yeah.
Now that I'm seeing these placeholders, there is one card. It's like Steel something trap, I think, or Spring Trap. I think Spring Trap. We may want to be cautious on that one because I found out about February having the full list.
Steel wire trap.
I don't know. There was some sort of trap that started with an S. And I found out about February having this from the Reddit post they had, and someone mentioned they had the numbers wrong on that. So, will be something to look out for. He said he was going to fix it today. That was 4 hours ago. Okay. I don't know if those changes have happened yet or not.
Well,
There's one card.
They
It was something with an S and a trap. Might not even be common. I don't know that.
Okay. Because I'm pretty sure they spoiled the common ones. So I don't know that it matters.
Okay. All right, so anyways, back to Azuri. Once per turn attack reaction, banish a card from your hand face down. Turn the card banished this way face up. If it's an attack action card with cost 2 or less, what? If it's an attack action card with cost 2 or less, put target attacking card with stealth from the active chain link on the bottom of its owner's deck. Then put the banished card onto the active chain link as the attacking card.
Yep. So basically, you attack with one card, and then as a reaction, you can switch it out for a different card.
From your hand.
Yep.
Okay, so it's like ninjutsu from Magic.
I don't remember.
That's when you can attack with something, and certain creatures have ninjutsu costs, and if a creature is unblocked, you can replace it with a ninjutsu character by playing its cost.
Okay.
So you'd like swing with an ornithopter, and then you'd flip it for some like Ninja of the Deep Hours that if it hits, you draw a card, and you're like, aha, gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
So this is like essentially, and there's a lot of uncertainty with this because, I mean...
Okay, you too, huh? All right.
Yeah. So essentially...
What is your uncertainty?
My uncertainty is, I don't think it counts as playing a card. So, like, say you play a 0-cost card with stealth, and then you switch out for a 2-cost card. You don't have to pay... I don't think you have to pay the cost for the card, because it's technically not playing, it's just coming from your banished zone onto the field. You know?
Yeah, no, you don't.
So,
I can tell you that. You don't have to pay it.
Yeah.
I'm more curious, do you banish the card and then you wait as long as you want to use it? Or do you banish the card and use it immediately?
It's an attack reaction. So it happens during the
what
reaction
it sounds
phase.
like is that, when you activate this happens right away.
Right. So
my question is,
you attack,
why
they declare
do you
blockers.
Banish it face down then, if you're going to immediately flip it. That makes no sense to me. Why not just banish it face up?
When do defense reactions happen? Do they happen after or before attack reactions?
That's where my confusion here goes. So reaction phase, how it works is that attack reactions happens, I believe, then defense reactions. If I recall how priority works, you get priority back as the person who has the attack. So now you can do an attack reaction. And then if you don't, it goes to the defender who could do a defense reaction. And then if they don't, it resolves.
Okay.
But if I do an attack reaction, now you can do a defense reaction in response to it. If you do a defense reaction, now I get to do an attack reaction again. So it goes like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, that's weird here is like, the way it just is worded, it sounds like no matter what, once you activate this, the whole part happens. Like every part of it happens. Where you banish the card and then flip it. And then if it's an attack action card with cost 2 or less, you swap the two.
Right.
So then what was the point of banishing it face down? That's where it's like...
I think just so it doesn't come out of your hand. Although, are you talking about the face down?
It doesn't matter. You could banish it face up.
Yeah. There might be cards that are triggered by...
Cards flipping?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because all I'm saying is, like, that's a whole sentence you could cut off this card right here that has a huge novel right there. It's just like... So, I guess, that's true. I have to wait to see if there's anything that has that flipping part relevant. Where it's like, if a card flips, do X. Then, like, sure.
I don't know that there's anything in this set in Commoner.
Okay.
And I don't know if there's
anything... Well, if it's built around a card
sets.
that's outside of Commoner, like, that makes sense. The card's not... That part of the card's not designed for us.
Right.
But, like, if there's something that plays around that flip, okay. I don't care. Then that's fine. But...
Are you looking it up? You're too curious?
Hang on. If it's an attack action card with cost 2 or less, put target attacking card with stealth from... Okay. So the only thing that needs stealth is the card that is currently attacking.
Right. So you start with the stealth, then you use her ability to switch it out for another attack reaction. Attack action.
What is the name of the card? What is the name?
You have a card in name?
I can't remember the name of it. but I think it could be playing around that card and not letting it do things, which kind of sucks if that's the case, that they're just like, we don't want this card to do something. Sort. Rarity, descending. Nope. I definitely wanted ascending. Was it with a B? Yep.
Oh, you're thinking...
I think it could be to avoid things like back alley break line giving you an action point. Because if you banish the card from your hand face up,
oh, because it
would count, it would trigger and give you the action point.
I was wondering.
Whereas if you banish it face down and then flip it, it won't give you the action point off back alley break line. I don't know if that's the reason that they did it. If so, I'm kind of a little bit disappointed in them because this card is just not good. But, you know, maybe the assassin doesn't need... Maybe this would make the assassin broken.
I still think that that triggers that. Because it's the ability that flips it up.
The activated ability or action card puts back alley break line face up into a zone from your deck. It has to go into a zone face up.
I feel like we've had this discussion about back alley break line.
Yeah, that's why back alley break line is just not good, because the only thing that can really do this is a mechanologist card.
It's funny because I was looking at this card and thinking, now this card is becoming more relevant. Nope.
No. I don't know if that's why it is.
Maybe.
But in theory, that is one thing that makes that sentence relevant.
Yeah.
And in Commoner, too. It is relevant for Commoner. Back alley break line does not work to generate you an extra action point.
Right. It's also interesting that cards that have, if this is the way it works, cards that have, when you play this card, trigger abilities.
Yep.
I don't think those get triggered because it's just coming onto the field.
Yes, I think that's correct.
However, there's also cards where you have to pay additional costs to play them. I think that is also negated, but I'm not 100% sure. It's really confusing. That's why I'm confused. I don't know if they have the rules out for it yet.
But that's what I'm looking for. Product. Oh, wait, hang on. Not product releases. Rules and policies. Release notes. We don't have release notes yet.
Nope.
Okay.
You'll find out next time.
Yes. Yeah, so there are some interesting things with Azuri right off the rip, because if you play a card that has a trigger effect when play it, that will go off, and then you can swap that card out.
Yep.
So you still get the triggered effect, but get the attack of another.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, if you play a card with Go Again, and you swap it for one without Go Again, you don't Go Again.
Yeah.
Because Go Again happens as part of the hit. So...
Right.
Things... Which that's just cool. That's a cool thing to play around and think about.
But there's also things where you can get the trigger from the original stealth card and the new card.
Is that what the idea is here?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what I'm going to find out when we get to the stealth cards?
I mean, it's not a huge thing, but
but that is like the idea behind the card kind of thing. Yeah. Okay, and then we have a new combo card for ninjas. Oh, it combos with Twin Twisters.
It does. Yep.
All right, Benji. Although that effect isn't great with Benji.
Nope, it's not huge.
Well, no, because that's the kind of thing with Benji that it pushes it outside of the unblockable range.
I think it's already outside of the unblockable range.
It is. The red one, anyways. The other ones are not.
Actually,
which maybe then you use the blue one then,
right.
I suppose.
Because then it would be unblockable.
Doesn't have Go Again is the only downside, but it could be your finisher for Benji.
I feel like there were other combo cards that combo with this, but they're outside our rarity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about trying to give it Go Again?
Nope.
All right, Be Like Water.
This is an interesting card.
Oh!
Yeah.
That's really good.
Mm-hmm. It's like a way to combo non-combos.
That's probably an auto-include in every ninja deck.
I would think so,
Except for Benji. Oh, wait. Well, no, except for Benji, because you're probably not going to be super built around Twin Twisters. Like, in the sense, Benji is built around Twin Twisters because of what Twin Twisters does,
Right.
not because he's comboing off Twin Twisters.
Yes.
But that's definitely like auto include material in.
I did see someone reveal a combo that works with this, where you play this, you play Rising Knee Thrust,
Mm-hmm.
and then, or wait, maybe you. I don't remember exactly what it is, but basically it's this and Rising Knee Thrust plus the one combo after this, after Rising Knee Thrust, and you call it Rising Knee Thrust. That card has an ability where it goes back to your hand after it hits. So it triggers off of the Rising Knee Thrust, and then it triggers off of itself being called Rising Knee Thrust. So you can do it twice.
Is that a different card? One, I barely understood what you just said.
Yeah, I'm not good at describing things.
But second, this can't be any part of the Rising Knee Thrust combo. This particular card. This can only be Head Jab, Surging Strike, or Twin Twisters.
You know what? I'm thinking of a different card.
That's what I figured. Because, like, what you described sounds neat, but what it sounds like you're saying is that card would inherit some qualities from the Rising Knee Thrust, which this does not inherit anything from the named card.
Yep.
It
completely
just
wrong.
takes the name, which allows you to combo other cards off of this.
Right. Yeah.
But
I was thinking of another card.
there may
that's
be
coming
another
up.
card that's coming up that does effectively that, yeah. So that will be interesting.
Ignore me.
Just off the
We
rip,
might
though,
have just cut that out. Who knows?
just off the rip, though, this card's absolutely busted.
It
This
is
is an
pretty
auto
cool.
include in every ninja deck.
Mm-hmm.
That is not Benji. And even Benji, you still might. Because, like, 3 damage, 0 cost with go again. That by itself is really good.
Yep.
When you add the fact that it's just like it's more copies of whatever combo you need in this moment is obscene. It also helps the Surging Strike combo because Surging Strike sucks because it costs 2.
Yes.
And this is effectively a 1-cost Surging Strike, so you get it at discount. So you might actually do the Surging Strike combo more often with this. So that's interesting. Ooh, we have Assassin Armor.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that seems pretty good into the blue Arachne version,
It
where
does.
you're daggering a lot.
It is expensive though, because you have to pay 2 for that. And
That
then,
is true.
And then 2 for your
Well, I mean, if
daggers.
you're playing blue Arachne, pitch
You
2
could
blue
play for
cards.
it, yeah, I guess.
If you pitch 2 blue cards, you just paid for Blade Cuff and both daggers.
True. That is true.
So, I can see it. And then we have a defense. We have traps.
Yep.
1 trap. Oh, it's an Assassin Ranger trap.
Yes, our
Wait,
first.
we are getting hybrid. Oh wait, and this was a ninja card too.
It is.
Didn't even notice that. We're getting we're getting hybrid cards in commoner even.
We are.
Wow. Hang on. Harmonized Kadachi. That is a dagger. Okay,
It
so
is.
Blade Cuff does work on that too. Not that you necessarily would want to pay 2 extra to make your Kadachis deal 1 more, but you know it's an option. It probably will see some use. Now I think about it. Because, like, how many times have we had bad gloves for ninjas?
Yeah.
Because we've had a number of non-combo ninjas with Faye and Benji. Like, what gloves did we even put on Benji?
We might have done.
We did Goliath gauntlets.
Yeah.
We did Goliath gauntlets because we didn't want to pump the low stuff and move them out of the unblockable territory. And so
Right.
we did it just for the finisher. Yeah, I mean,
So I mean, we might not even put that on Benji anyways,
well,
because it could push the stuff outside of unblockable again.
hang on though. I think it may actually be really, yeah, I think you do put that in Benji.
Oh wait.
That makes your
it's
needles
the opposite.
harder to break.
Yeah.
That makes your needles harder to break.
Okay.
I think you absolutely do put this in Benji. I think Benji's the best place for Blade Cup. Keep the Zephyr needles intact. All right. Boom. Upgraded our Benji deck.
Nice.
All
Because
right.
I needed it.
Yeah. Well, it could use a little bit of love, I think. Blood Rot Trap. 0 cost, defense reaction, blocks for 3. If the attacking hero has played or activated reactions this chain link, create a Blood Pox token.
Yeah. It's pretty
Okay.
simple.
Yeah,
It's a little
it's very
niche,
simple.
but I mean,
I could see putting this in assassin deck, especially, or like if you build a trap ranger, then like this makes sense.
I think if you're gonna play a trap ranger, you're gonna want to include all the traps.
Well, possibly. I mean, I think you still want probably arrows too because they do a lot of damage.
You're probably gonna have to do arrows too.
Yeah. Well, unless you literally just make absolute turtle fest.
I don't remember what the other traps from the previous set do. I just remember we were not enthused with them.
Not much.
But I mean, you could just have them trigger his ability. Riptide's ability, rather. We're going off the cuff again.
Where do you even select trap? Subtype.
Yes.
I know, I'm trying to think if they were even playable in Commoner, the previous ones. We discussed them, but were they all rares? Was that part of the rare episode? I think it may have been.
Oh.
Yeah, they're all rare, so none of the old traps matter.
What about Boulder Trap?
That's also rare.
Damn it.
Literally all, and also that's from the new set.
Okay, I guess.
So the only traps we'll get to use are the ones here.
Yep.
We only discussed traps before because that was back when you could put 6 rares in the deck.
Right. Okay. And we were struggling to find rares or something.
No, we were just doing episodes about rares.
Okay.
Rare cards and just talking about the use of them, and we figured it wasn't worth it at that point because there was nothing built around traps. And now, by the time something has been built around traps, they're no longer in the format.
Yep. Perfect. But now we have commoner traps.
Yeah. I'm not overly thrilled about this card, but if you build around traps, I think it's not bad. But like they have to do something for you to be able to get the token.
Yes.
And not a ton of things play around attack reactions when we really think about it. I suppose a lot more now with things like Azuri and all that. But
that's why I kind of feel like Riptide is a little. He doesn't look quite underpowered for commoner.
Yeah, it could be.
Unfortunate.
Could be. I mean, it'd be great if you run up against the warrior player.
Yes.
Then you're like, okay. Because just in general, defense reactions are good against the warrior player. And then 0 for 3 is obviously under what normal defense reactions would be. Because it normally would be 0 for 4.
Yes.
But the 1 point's not a huge loss. 3 is a good block. And if you're playing this in especially Riptide, it's 3 block and deal 1 damage, regardless of anything else. And then if you get the Blood Rot Pox, you're going to do even more damage.
I can't remember what the other traps do or if they're better. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out.
But next is Brush
Off. Next time you would be dealt 3 damage, prevented.
Okay, so it's a ward that costs 0.
Okay. So it sucks.
Essentially.
Card is garbage.
It's even more garbage because
Yep, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
A new come to fight.
It effectively does exactly what Blood Rot Trap does. Like 0 for block 3, only it's an instant instead of a reaction.
Yep.
So that's not super relevant, and it's not a trap, so it's not going to get all the trap effects.
Well, I feel like this falls into the niche of people who like to use Oasis Respite. It's very similar to that. Yeah, it's just worse.
Yeah, because Oasis Respite does all this and heals you, right?
I think so,
if I remember correctly. And I think it may even block more. It may actually prevent 4, like a defense reaction would. And then, new Come to Fight. New Come to Fight being the same old Come to Fight, just reprinted.
Yes.
He's even using the arc code on the bottom of it. It's literally just the Arcane Rising one. Cut down to size.
Now, I thought this was an interesting attack. Because it's a 6 power attack.
Yep.
For 2.
Yep. We're thinking brute. we're both on the brute path here.
Actually, I was thinking stealth.
Really?
Yeah, you switch this in, so you pay 0 for a 6 power attack. That also makes them discard a card if they have 4 more cards in hand.
I like the way you think.
Yes. It's a immediately what I thought when I saw this card.
For the people watching this video, since we don't use webcam, didn't see all of the visual things going on with me in response to what you were saying.
There was a lot of
a lot of nodding and like
finger guns.
Got it. Yeah, finger guns, finger guns. I do actually really like that because like, and well, she's an assassin, not a ninja. But even the assassins, they don't necessarily have huge hitting attacks in general.
Yes, the highest.
But there's a lot of huge hitting generic attacks like this. I could see that. I think that's cool. That's a neat idea. Yeah, and it's cost 2 or less, so this would fall in that category still.
Yep.
This actually does combo with that insanely well too, because that you swing with like, I don't know what the stealth cards look like, but if there's like a 1 power attack stealth card, you swing with that, and they're like, okay, I'm not blocking that, and then you're like, okay, 6 damage and discard 4 unless you have a defense reaction.
So that's one of the things where they're like, have you used your ability this turn?
Yeah, this is a mind game. Okay,
stuff.
I'm
gonna block for 6.
I do
against that 1 power attack. Okay.
I do like that you control when
arsenal card
activates too. that she's not like Katsu, where it has to happen at the first. So yeah, cut down to size. That's a sick idea.
Mm-hmm.
It could be playable in Brute, but yeah,
I do like it more in the Assassin deck.
I think you're right. I think that's a way cooler application of it, and also too, Brute is now reaching the point that you're really not looking for more 6 power red attacks.
It is a little oversaturated.
More yellow and blue.
Maybe it does replace a card. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah. If you think the effect is better than one of the existing ones. All right, and then we have Deadly Duo, which is a ninja attack. Cost 1, power 3. When this hits, the next attack action card with 2 or less base power, you play this combat chain, gains +2. Okay, and it has go again already.
It does.
That's pretty solid.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like you could put that in Fae even. Although you are 0 cost tribal, so this would be breaking that part.
Maybe it can go into, wait, was it with combo? No.
Okay, so it's just anything with 2 or less base power gets bumped.
This could go into Katsu Tiger's Roar or whatever it was.
Oh, the Crouching Tiger.
Crouching Tiger,
yeah. You could do that, yeah.
The deck that I said I was going to build.
Oh, yeah, because then it would pump it would be another way to pump Crouching Tigers outside of... Okay, yeah.
I would definitely put it in that deck.
Now's the time to do the Crouching Tigers. Now, you just didn't do it yet because we didn't have Deadly Duo yet.
Exactly.
And all of them pump +2, so it's all of them are just as good with the Crouching Tiger.
Mm-hmm. It's not when it... Oh, it's when it hits, though. That's one.
Yeah,
issue.
Sure, but I mean, like that's the ninja thing. You know what I mean? Like
right. You start with the red to pump the yellow to pump the blue to pump the Crouching Tiger.
And then we have Descendant Gust Wave.
Yep.
Oh, it's a new combo piece for Surging Strike?
It is.
In addition to Whelming Gust Wave, right? That was the other one?
That's the other one, yeah.
If Surging Strike was the last attack this combat chain, this costs 0 and has +2. That's pretty brutal. Yeah, I mean, that makes it better than Whelming Gust Wave, I think, even though Whelming Gust Wave draws you a card. So...
Right.
I think. Or...
I don't remember.
I forget. It does something that was really nice, but it has low power. And the biggest problem was, well, it costs 0. Surging Strike costs 2.
Right.
But that's a brutal amount of damage. And making this cost 0, that's rough, buddy. Yeah.
I kept reading it as Decadent Gust Wave. I don't know why.
Does this mean this is like a descendant of Katsu that's in this artwork?
Maybe.
Because Katsu is in the artwork of Whelming Gust Wave.
They do have a lot of like ancestry and stuff like that, going back to your ancestry in the lore. I didn't read any of it, but just based on the cards I've seen.
Interesting. Oh, and Katsu is in this set too.
He is.
Destructive Deliberation.
This is another card that goes well with the stealth.
Ah, is that what it is? It's really funny because like the artwork screams wizard, and the
Yep.
fact that it creates a ponder token screams wizard. The two cost 5 damage is the exact opposite of wizard. Very weird. But yeah, I can see why this would be
more
good.
think like Visceri.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah, but I mean,
But
this,
like he also doesn't care about drawing
yeah,
cards.
he doesn't. But this does work
The ponder
with
one.
the stealth because you can just pay 0
Yeah.
to play this essentially,
Yep.
or
This
pay,
one
pay
I'm
whatever
less-
the
I'm
cost
less
is.
excited about though. The other one had like a huge upside, whereas this is just like, oh cool, I got a ponder token.
Yeah.
So I don't know it
essentially,
makes the cut for that.
It just means you do the attack and then you get to draw a card at the end of the turn.
Yeah. I feel like if when you actually get to building the deck kind of thing with Azuri, there's probably better alternatives than this
I think.
for your like combo cards.
Yes.
Because think about how many generic cards that have been printed.
You'd probably go more toward
I think you'd rather do 6 damage than create a ponder token and do 5.
yeah.
Maybe I'm
true.
wrong, but that's gut reaction. That's how I feel about it.
You'd probably go for a stealth. I mean, a different assassin contract card because those can hit for 5.
Yeah.
So you probably
something
do that
like
instead.
Okay, and then we have Ranger Aero Attacks.
Yep.
Falcon Wing. So it costs 0, deals 3. If it has an aim counter on it, it has +1, and it has go again. So
I wasn't sure because I don't
sick
play
them with
Ranger
more
much.
steps.
If this is like good or not.
Oh, it's cheaper than Sick'em Shot too.
Oh, because it's 0 cost.
Yeah. But Sick'em Shot already has everything else it does without an aim counter.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you wouldn't use both. If you're
Okay.
going for like Machine Gun Ranger and you have enough ways to reload your quiver,
Mm-hmm.
there's a world in which you do that. Okay, and then Feisty Locals. I would love to see the card artwork for this one.
Right.
If this is defended by an action card, it has +2. I think the intention for this one is also the assassin, but this is one that you probably would only do in limited and not actually build the deck.
Right. Or
Because they would be like, oh, well, I can block this stealth attack, and then you flip
Yes.
it for this and do a bunch more damage.
right, you selectively like pull it in when they're blocking with an attack
Yeah.
action card.
I think you will probably never play this card in any other deck outside of that like limited format.
I
though.
could see that.
Because 0 cost, 3 power, defense 2, doesn't have go again. And if it's defended by an action card, it has 5 damage.
Yep. It's kind of mediocre
Yeah.
and niche at that.
And then we have Fistcuffs.
Yep. Not fisticuffs. Fistcuffs.
Pay 2, destroy it. Target attack action card gains +1.
Oh, it's an equipment, by the way.
Okay. It's well, no, I know it's an equipment. I know it's arms. I'm trying to think the world in which you would ever use that. It's an attack reaction. So you can use it when you want to. You don't have to use it first.
Right.
Is that worth paying 2 resources for?
Well, I think it's like
Keeping in mind
you attack with your dagger and they block it and then you just pump it a little more.
only pumps attack action cards.
Okay, I'm wrong.
It pumps any attack action card +1, but you have to pay 2 to do that.
Yeah.
But you get an attack reaction.
I feel like
Is
there's
attack reaction good enough to warrant paying 2 for Cracker Jacks? Because all the rest of the text on this card is Cracker Jacks.
is Cracker Jack's attack reaction?
No, that's the only difference. You have to crack it first, but it's free and it pumps any attack action card plus 1.
Mm-hmm.
That alone has never been justifiable. So is attack reaction plus costing 2 enough to make this justifiable into any deck? That's where I'm not so convinced.
Yes, please tell us in the comments below, because we can't think of anything at the moment.
I mean, just based off the text he has here, if this is correct, I mean, I don't have gloves I can use as much in Cano.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you build regular Wizard Cano that's not the, like, Moonkiss one that uses Goliath Gauntlet, if you do regular, just, like, all spells Cano, all you have is, like, Iron Rot Gauntlets and, like, Null Rune gloves. So you could use Fisticuffs to kill yourself by pumping your opponent's attacks at attack reaction speed.
Right.
I don't know if that's
interesting way.
entirely true. Maybe you can only play an attack reaction during your attack reaction step, so then you wouldn't be able to use it on an opponent's attack.
It makes me think.
But
Building a deck that kills you faster than your opponent can.
what I'm saying is it's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm saying that it's bad. The card is just bad. It's awful. I hate it. Miserable. I am less critical of Fleetfoot Sandals, but I am having a hard time picturing any world in which you use this.
Yeah.
Because
I think that only counts towards, like, blue attacks.
Surely Snapdragon Scalers affects all the same things and then more so.
I feel like there's a bunch of cards in this set where they made something but slightly worse.
Yeah, I mean, like, it'd be good and limited, and maybe that's what it's for. Maybe that's what it's for. It's just like it's a Snapdragon Scalers in the set that's just more specific.
Okay.
And it's just there for, like, you pull it in limited and you're like, sweet, now my draft deck has boots. You know.
Right. I guess drafting.
Yeah, for, like, draft, sealed, whatever, like, which that's fair enough. Magic prints, like, 800 cards every year that are useless outside of draft.
Yep.
But yeah, I think in constructed you'll never use Fleetfoot Sandals, because I think Snapdragon Scalers will just do all of that and better.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are some things that cost 1 or less that deal like 5 damage in Assassin specifically that you can use the Snapdragon Scalers on, but not Fleetfoot Sandals. Okay, freewheeling renegades.
Frailty Trap.
Oh, Frailty Trap. Right. Oh, that's where all the auras come from, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, there are more things that do the stuff.
So Frailty Trap only does... Okay, and Frailty Trap... Honestly, that makes Frailty sound worse now.
Because it's go again?
Well, because you have to use Frailty Trap before that happens. I mean, I suppose you can use it on the first attack, and then it will decrease that attack. But...
Well, there are...
And then, yeah,
other cards that give Frailty.
Okay.
It's just that these traps are kind of not as good.
Yeah, mid. Yeah. If this is what all the traps look like, that's definitely disappointing. But you know, I'm sure the traps get a lot better once you get
rare
outside of commoner. I still think you probably could make some Dirtle control deck with Riptide that might actually be somewhat fun. I don't think it will be super good from what I've seen yet, but like it could be interesting where you're just trying to play a bunch of traps and slowly like ping your opponent to death because like you can't really do anything about the damage. Like from Riptide's ability, it's not arcane damage.
Nope.
So like they can run away as 1 point. So I mean, you could, in theory, just play a bunch of these and just dirtle.
I think there are cards that do block unspecified damage, though.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, there's more now, too, because of the whatchamacallits that we hate. quelling.
Right.
Quelling. That does it too.
There's also stuff in this
in
set.
this set, yeah. Okay, so Freewheeling Renegades, if this is defended by an action card, this has -2 power. Oh, so the idea here is you do the Azuri trick to get around that.
The stealth.
Yeah.
Bring it in.
I think this is for limited and not really outside of it.
Yeah.
You would just play a 6 power attack that has no downsides.
Well, there is that's the yellow.
Yes. Yeah. But that's what I mean, like, you would just play any other 2 cost or less 6 power attack that has no downsides. You would just play that over this. Because there are more.
Yeah, it's kind of niche. You'd only use it with her, I think.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yes.
it's a liability.
Yeah, I think outside of her, this card is terrible. And for her, I think it's only good in draft, or like in limited, where you're not going to see the other better cards. Because I think you could just take any generic card printed in any of the other sets that has 6 power and just use that instead. Yeah. Okay, and then more head jabs. That makes sense.
Yep.
Inertia trap, greater than its base. Well, that's pretty easy to hit. And that, what is the inertia token again?
That's where it makes you discard your arsenal in hand.
Yep.
So I feel like inertia trap is the best of those 3 traps.
It's hard to say. I think inertia trap is the easiest one to pull off. Maybe this is the aggro player in me, but the blood rot pox, whatever, seems like the best trap. It's harder to pull off.
I do like the blood rot pox better,
but it accelerates your kill them with traps plan. So like, I feel like that's the best trap. It's just also the hardest to pull off.
When I said best, I meant easiest.
Yeah, most consistent, anyways. That kind of thing. And its benefit is potentially really good. All right, we have our first stealth card. When this hits a hero, create a Blood Rot Pox token under their control. All right. 0, 3 power, does not have go again.
Nope.
Which, based on what we're seeing, if you... Okay, yeah, actually, no. That's fair, because Arachne will make it have go again for the first one. So he still gets to do a turn. And then for Azuri, you don't, in theory, care, because it's not going to be the thing that hits.
Right. If they don't block it, then...
Yeah.
Either you let it hit or you switch out something bigger and better.
I think this is going to be really, really great in Arachne. In Azuri, the biggest problem I could see here is that Blood Rot Pox does, as I said, like 2 damage is a lot, and paying 3 is very hard to do to prevent that.
Right.
So
essentially, it would
the problem is people will block this.
Right.
Which makes it rough for Azuri, because the idea is you don't want them to block it. You want to fool them with a crappy looking stealth card and then hit them with something bigger. Whereas with this, like, they'll probably block it, and so then the big payoff doesn't have as big of a payoff.
Well, but that's when you switch to your backup plan of hitting them with a big attack.
Well, I mean, sure, like
unless they overblock,
it will hit them harder in theory, but like it's going to still have some amount blocked because they blocked this regardless. Yes. And if it's something like the discard cards, if they have 4 more cards, well, now they don't have 4 more cards.
Right.
Unless they happen to be a Guardian who just popped their helmet.
Also, don't forget you can pump cards.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, you can. Well, that's what I mean. In Arachne, I think this is just great. I think in Arachne, this is just great. Because, like, it's a super powerful stealth card.
Yep.
Like, this is one where you'd almost just rather this hits than whatever you replace it with. I'm just saying for, like, Azuri specifically, if your whole deck is built around, like, non-threatening stealth cards that they don't block that you then replace with better cards, this isn't a good one, because this is in and of itself really good and thus likely to be blocked.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it's not like a 4 power attack.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
That's what I kind of wish.
That you need to push it that extra level to make it hit. But then again, Blood Rot Pox is really, really good.
It is
so
true.
It is probably balanced.
Right.
It's probably balanced. Like, imagine if this was 4 power, 0, and did all this, and then you put this in Arachne, where this game's go again the first time. Like, that's so broken.
See, what I think about is, like, maybe you play a 1 power stealth attack that, you know, has a lesser ability.
Yeah.
Then you would switch it out for that one.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's the idea. Like, I think that's where you have the cool ninjutsu style deck. And that's why I was saying the tragic thing with this card is that it's so good.
Right.
Because it doesn't play well into that. Because, like, even if you swing with a 1, they're still probably going to block it because that's 3 damage.
Right. So you probably play this off the stealth ability rather than play it for the stealth ability.
Yes. Yeah. You probably this is just a really good card, so you'd use it anyways.
Yeah.
But it's probably not going to be a great surprise attack card because they probably blocked it.
I still kind of like it.
No, I think it's great, though. I actually do think it's a great card.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just tragic for the Azuri clan only in the sense that, like,
you're
not fooling anyone with this. Like, if you play this card, they're blocking it regardless. And whether you switch it or not, they probably block 3. So even the 6 is only going to hit for 3.
Yep.
And not trigger its discard effect. But that's a good problem to have, that the problem is that your card is too good. Like, that's the right kind of problem. Infecting Shot. That is some gruesome artwork.
Yep. It's a ranger attack.
Gains +1 if it has aim. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh! Ooh! That's really good.
Yep. I feel like this could go into...
Every ranger?
Yeah, Lexi's deck is what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, 5 for 1 is already a good number.
I feel like there's a... Like, it does work well with... It, like, works in tandem with Frostbite.
If you're using aim counters, this is really, really great. Mm-hmm. But if you're just using this as a 1-cost 5-power arrow attack that if it hits, gives them a token that can deal 2 more damage, that in and of itself is very playable. Mm-hmm. So, like...
Although, in our tempo deck, I'm not sure how it would work because that Lexi uses her bow. And I'm not sure how the new bow would play into that deck, if that would...
I think you just don't use aim counters. I think you play this in Lexi just as a 1-cost 5-power that gives Blood Rot Box.
That's true.
I mean, that's 7 damage for 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's already cards in that deck that deal 5 for 1, I think.
Right, or maybe they also just pitch a card. Which also is in line.
Yeah, that's the whole plan. So, yeah, I think that's a really good attack.
It's definitely going in, I feel like.
I feel like that's a card that could very easily be an auto-include in every ranger.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of whether you're using aim counters. Because, like, I mean, the 1's not even that relevant, because, like, the difference is 5 to 6. That's still 2-card block to prevent it. I mean, that's gross. Even the yellow has the 4, so it's hard to block.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really good. That is just good.
So here, Isolate is a stealth attack with Dominate.
Isolate is the perfect card for the Azuri plan.
Yes, that's what I felt like too.
This is exactly what Azuri wants.
Dominate triggers for this card,
Correct.
And then you move into your next card.
Dominate affects the defense step, and attack reaction happens after defense step.
Yep.
So they've already declared their defenses. So yes, Isolate is the perfect card for that, for the Azuri plan. Which also means it's not great in Arachne, but you probably still would have some number of these because they will have Go Again with Arachne.
A card that has Dominate and Go Again, I feel like, is still good.
Yeah. Yep.
Granted, it's only for the first card.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's basically we have this card in Briar. It's just the Briar one is if it hits, it gains Go Again with Dominate on it. But I think, obviously, Azuri, this is like, you have all 6 of these.
Right.
This is just like the perfect card.
and from what we've seen so far, it all the stealth cards have been 0, I think.
Yep.
So it's
yeah,
easy
that's the
to
cool
play.
thing with the Arachne one, is that is a very aggressive deck. But I don't think it's stupid unbalanced because these are all 3-power for 0, which is... I mean, that's the Fey line, but Fey's cards are more powerful than this. Just in general. They have other effects that are more powerful than what these do in a vacuum.
I do, it's balanced.
Yeah.
The power is low, but the effect is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, like, I think that's good. I think they're starting to get super overpowered with, like, Draconic and stuff like that. Like, I think it's good for this set to be like, it's good. It's not amazing or stupid or ludicrous. Like, it's not that. Nothing I've seen yet is.
I also like the added strategy to it.
But I think that does make Malign good because if I understand correctly,
Oasis, essentially.
Yes, I think that's basically all it does. Because, like, it's damage that would be dealt can't be prevented.
Yeah.
So this doesn't affect blocking. If they block 3, You deal no damage. But what it prevents is Quelling, Oasis versus Spite, and whatever that other card name was.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't remember, and I'm never going to play it.
Yeah. It's essentially a warding card. Or any of the cards that have ward.
If I buy a box of this and
Also,
we draft with it, I
Spectral
may play
Shield.
it. Oh, Spectral Shield. Yep. It'll stop Spectral Shield, too. That's true.
And the
that said,
Dragonling, whatever.
No, they're Arcane Barrier.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Which wouldn't affect this anyways. Okay. That said, you definitely play this in Azuri, because right off the rip you're like, I just looked at the card and I'm like, it's not great. Which means that I am a lot less likely to block it. A lot less likely to block it, because the effect I'm like, I don't care.
A blue malign? I guess.
Yeah. So it works well for Azuri. This is exactly the unassuming stealth card that you play to set up the crazy combo. Where, like, if I block this, it sucks for me, because I just blocked a stupid garbage card, and I lost a card to do that. But if I don't block it, you flip it into something that also sucks for me. So, yeah, that's the good part about it. Assassin Ranger Headpiece.
Yep.
Okay. Put a card from your hand or arsenal on the bottom of your deck, destroy the mask, reveal cards from the top of your deck until you reveal an attack action card, put into your hand, then shuffle.
It's kind of interesting, but at the same time,
close.
Yeah. I like the next card better.
No. Okay. Hang on. Let me.
I won't get too far.
Put the bias away. Go back at this and pretend that the second class isn't there. Put a card from your hand or arsenal on the bottom of your deck. Destroy it. Reveal cards until you hit an attack action card. Okay. I think you can play this in Assassin. I think this would be okay in Assassin, because, like, what's it going to compete with? Hope Merchant's Hood and Ragamuffins and Talisman Coins?
I guess.
I think this could be better, because, like, you're guaranteeing you're going to hit an attack.
Yes.
Which is nice.
So maybe...
So you, like, have a garbage card in your hand, and you swap it for you don't know what, but it will be an attack. I think Ranger, it doesn't beat the Hood.
Yeah.
Because the Hood puts something in the arsenal. And this does not. It puts it in your hand. So I think you would rather have the Hood. Maybe for, like, Riptide, if, like, you often have things in your arsenal, maybe you would.
Like, maybe you're getting a bunch of traps, but you want an arrow?
Yeah, or, like, maybe you had something that didn't affect, and now you want to get it out. Which I guess there hasn't been anything we've seen yet that does that, but...
Does it pull it from the arsenal?
It can.
Oh,
It can. I mean, you can always just use it to trade something from your, like, your hand for something else.
Right.
But I would still, for most Rangers, I would prefer the Hood, because it's an extra way to reload your bow for free, which is just really,
well, I think
really good.
Riptide
This
can
blocks
reload
something,
it by himself anyways.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's true. So maybe he would prefer that. The big thing, like, the Hood can do for Riptide is that you can put a trap in your arsenal, and then if they don't do anything that would cause you to trigger that trap, the Hood actually makes you take the card out of your arsenal and then put a new thing in.
That is true.
So, but I could definitely see where Riptide might use something like this. And this has Blade Break, which is a nice addition there, too. So you can always block with it. The Ninja only one. Name a card.
So this is the card I was thinking about before that I got stupid.
Okay. But it doesn't gain the effects of that card.
No, it just gains the name. So if the card has an effect that's triggered by a different named card, you can give a different card that name, and it will still trigger. So
no, so you can do, like, you can make a card leg tap, so that Rising Knee Thrust will now trigger as if you have a leg tap in front of it.
Right, or the one that comes after Rising Knee Thrust, which I think is like Tornado Kick or something like that.
It's the one where it's like kicking the dude's head off.
Yes.
It's like the super gory one.
Essentially, it does like 5 damage, and then when it hits, it goes back to your hand.
Okay.
So if you...
that's what the bounce thing was you're saying, was that you would do Rising Knee Thrust, which would allow you to bounce the next card.
Right.
I thought you were saying you would bounce the card that you changed the name of.
I just
which
said
I'm like, yeah.
You played Rising Knee Thrust.
Yep.
You played
another
the
card
Tornado Kick or whatever.
You
triggers
play the tornado kick,
Yes.
and then you change the tornado kick name to
Into
rising knee thrust, and play another tornado kick thing.
Well, it bounces back to your hand, so you can
Oh,
play
you play
it again.
And
then it triggers off of that.
Now
Yeah.
I get it. Yes, yes. What was?
Is it tornado kick?
No, it's not. It's like it's with a B. That I want to look it up just because blackout kick. I think. Oh wait, no, there's another one.
Yeah, there's another one.
Okay. Oh, it's a new card. Or wait, no, that's a really old one. If Hurricane Technique hits, put it in your hand.
Yep. It's an old one.
I was thinking blackout kick. You were thinking the correct one.
Yes.
I don't even remember this card, which is hilarious. From Welcome to Wrath.
It's weird that
It's from the same set.
I never knew about this card.
I
don't
didn't
know
either.
why.
I think is it a rare?
No.
No, it's a super rare.
Oh,
it's a super rare.
Unfortunate.
See?
Yeah.
We don't care about these. Well, I mean,
I liked the
I
way
mean, in general,
yeah, I liked
the combo you were doing or talking about, like that person was talking about it for any format, which obviously doesn't affect us. And like, second, I just assumed anyways, if we're getting to the third part of the combo, every single combo chain that has a third part is beyond common error at that point.
It's true.
Unless there's a new one in the set.
Or unless it triggers off of itself.
What hat were you using for Katsu? Was Katsu a Hope Merchants? It was, right?
It might be. So I feel like
I think you can
that would definitely go in there for any of the Katsu decks
I mean,
that I have.
and I think even Ira would take that, even though like the joke is like I won that Ira game literally off of a Hope Merchant's hood, and that's true. But I think the times that happens will be less than the times that I will set up a combo that was missing with Mask of Many Faces.
Right.
So that's just cool, and it's got Blade Break, so that's awesome.
Yep.
I like it. I am here for that. Assassin Ninja. Whenever a dagger hits, you may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. If you do, draw a card.
It's
not awful.
I think it's better than some of the other equipment, though.
Benji might take this. I don't think Benji had a good hat. He might take this, because then you can use your daggers to fix your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And he doesn't use combo as much.
Yeah, he has the combo cards that are there are just there by accident.
Yeah. Is that even combo?
Nope. There's just a new combo card that plays off of it,
which wouldn't go in his deck.
Nope.
Anyways.
Nope, not really. Yep. So yeah, I could see you putting Mask of Shifting Perspectives into Benji.
Yes.
That's about the only one I could see that, because it effectively does what Hope Merchant's Hood does. But it lets you do it multiple times a turn if you get multiple attacks.
Oh, that's true.
Right, because it's only
destroyed at the end of the turn, right?
Yeah, like Hope Merchant's Hood will let you technically sculpt your entire hand if you want to, whereas this will only let you basically do 2 cards at that point. But it lets you like swap 1 card, and then if you get a garbage card back off that, you can attack with another dagger and swap it again. So, like that same card or whatever. So. I don't know. I could see it being useful, and it blocks unlike Hope Merchant's Hood, so I think that may be enough to push it into the Benji territory.
I was wondering about that. I forgot.
But I think outside of Benji, it probably doesn't matter. Murkmeyer Grapnel. What the heck?
Yeah, it's an interesting art.
Not grapple, Grapnel.
Right, because it's an arrow that's also a
grappling. Is that
gun.
what it's supposed to mean?
Yep.
Okay, it has an aim counter on it, it gets +1. These are the most mediocre aim counter bonuses ever. They're just like, yep, all of them are just +1 damage.
Yep.
Damage that would be dealt by it can't be prevented. Alright. Same thing I said above.
It's kind of a basic card.
It'll be good once you I think you're right. It'll be good once you run up against an illusionist. Because now even based off the deck list changes we made, even my Dromai will be making some number of spectral shields.
Right.
So, if you run up against an illusionist, this will make...
I feel like it's kind of a meta card. Like, those cards are kind of meta.
Yeah. And I mean, like, to be fair, like, it's a 0 cost 4 power, and if you're built around aim, it's 5 power.
True.
So, like, that alone might be enough to justify it, and then if you just hit an illusionist, you're like, oh, yay. Because I'm pretty sure that this works this way. If you do this against an illusionist that has Spectral Shield, the Spectral Shield will still kill itself. It's just not going to prevent anything.
Because it triggers. Okay.
Yeah, it just automatically kills itself when you take damage. and prevents it.
That's kind of funny.
So, yeah. So it actually does work to clear the spectral shields out. It doesn't even delay the effect. It just clears it out.
Okay.
Which is also good against Prism, because that is her weapon, is those spectral shields, too. Because, like, she also attacks with auras.
So I feel like I said, it's a meta card.
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like there are better ways.
If
to
you
go.
play a lot of Illusionists,
Yeah.
you may start putting this into, like, Lexi, Azalea, Riptide, regardless of how you built them. I think if you are a heavily built aim counter ranger deck, this may make the cut regardless. May.
Okay.
Just because it's 0 cost,
Right.
4 power.
Mm-hmm.
That would go up to 5. But then if you do happen to be in a place where everyone plays Illusionist for some reason, you may just start putting it into your decks regardless. If Head Jab was the last attack, this combat chain this has, when it hits a hero, deal 2 damage to him. Okay, so it's an on-hit effect.
Yep. 1-2 punch. It's not too bad.
It's not too bad, but it's also not too amazing, so I don't know if you really would put it in.
Right. Well, I think
The other Head Jab combo has Dominate. But cost.
there was that
hit.
other card that becomes Head Jab.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just more ways to combo.
Yeah. It's whether that's worth it.
Right.
Especially for an on-hit effect that's very easy to block.
True.
Like, think about how many times I have punished you greatly when you've used the 4 power if this hits against Go Again. That I just blanked your entire turn by full blocking.
Mm-hmm.
This takes 1 card to full block. So, depending on the matchup, this really may not do anything.
That is true.
That's my biggest concern with it. Whereas, like, the other Head Jab combo card costs 2, but it has Dominate.
It's
and
unfortunate,
that's why
yeah.
it's so good.
It's unfortunate that it's 3 power, not 4 power.
Yes.
It doesn't
Yep.
breach that mark.
Peace of Mind. If
Peace
you would be dealt
of-
damage, prevent 4.
Yep.
And create Ponder. So I had this weird moment here where I read this card text, and I was like, that's actually pretty cool. I might put that in, like, my wizard decks. That's not awful. And then I looked at the cost.
Yep.
And then I realized it was awful.
It is.
If that was a 0 cost instant card that prevented 4 and created a Ponder token, I'd probably put that in Isolator.
The blue is unfortunate, too.
Yes.
Very,
Yes, it
very
is.
unfortunate. So it's kind of a piece. It's a piece of something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You get it. Yeah. it's a piece of something, all right. Oh, I like Plunge. Plunge is neat. I don't know that it's necessarily a great card. I don't know that it will make the cut that
Yeah.
often.
I mean,
Because, I mean, like, Arachne wants to dagger first.
yes.
And then for, like, your other ninjas, you probably just have better attacks? Well, this makes the Benji cut. This is
does.
another great Benji card. Wait a minute, this is a great Benji card.
Because it pumps you daggers.
Yeah. It's more of whatever that one card was. So, like, this is so ironic. This may be an upgrade for that deck, because we currently have that 1 cost with Go Again that gives your next weapon attack +1. We
Right.
have a problem.
Is that
We have-
Brandish?
Yes, Brandish, that's it. We have all 6 copies of Brandish in that deck. So this allows us
We
to
need
upgrade
more.
the deck by replacing the red Brandish with a yellow or blue of this.
Okay.
Because then it makes it unblockable again. Because red Brandish is blockable.
Right. Okay.
So it's a really awkward thing where you can use this to depower the existing cards to then make them unblockable in Benji. Where you get rid of the red Brandish and you bring in the yellow Plunge and you're like, upgrade. There's so many cards here that I'm just like, wow, these are good in Benji.
I mean, he's in the set. He is in the
Oh,
set.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. The problem
He even has a specialization in this set, but it's majestic.
Oh, of course. And so he has 2 specializations now. That's cool.
Mhm.
Because he has Spring Tidings, too. From whichever set that was. The one where Data Doll got it.
There might be a Katsu one as well. That's also majestic, but I don't remember.
Well, yeah, I mean, Katsu probably has a ton of specialization cards just
Right.
already from Welcome
I just
Back.
meant in the set.
Yeah. Whereas, like, why I mention it with Benji, too, is that, like, when Benji and all got released, they had no specialization cards. And so then when they did the next one, Everfest, I think they added a specialization card for all of the original ones from Crucible, except for the Merchant, because they hate merchants. Okay, Prowl. Next card was Stealth. You play this combat.
You want to talk about Ponder? They're reprinting the Ponder token.
Yeah, at common, not even token. It's wasting a common slot in your deck.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So yes, I'll talk about Ponder. They have made the set worse by wasting one of your common slots on a Ponder. Imagine you're drafting, and now you have to pick Ponder
I didn't even
as your card because it is in the common slot.
Is that Outsiders?
It is using the Dynasty code. So maybe it's a token, and they glitched the system where it's like printed that token, but because he's using the Dynasty version, it pops up in common.
You could be yelling at them for previous mistakes. We don't know.
But I don't think it's that. Can I not open the?
I think you just click it.
It's just an image. Okay.
You just. Click
I
it.
don't want to leave the page.
Well, it doesn't leave. It just makes them bigger. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and then you just click again. That's how you leave the page.
Okay, well, see, this is where I needed to go because I needed to see if it was common, which it's not telling me anyways.
Okay, and now wait, you have to.
Oh, do I have to refilter it? Oh, yep. That's awful.
I was gonna warn you, but you clicked too quickly.
Well, because that's what I needed to get to. That's what I wanted to see. Okay, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and assume that Ponder's actually printed as a token in this set, and that just since they're using the Dynasty version, it's popping up in the commons.
One can only hope.
Because it's a common in Dynasty because it's a supplement set. That lets you get foil Ponders. I doubt they have printed foil Ponders again, because that's usually the whole point of the supplement set, is to get those foil tokens you don't get anywhere else.
Yep.
Prowl is neat.
Prowl is neat.
It's better in Arachne.
Yeah,
it's better in Arachne than Azuri because it needs to
give it go again itself.
Well, yeah, which obviously Arachne would do automatically, but like important for Azuri, if you bounce this to replace it, the effect goes away.
Right. Yeah, I don't think the stealth ability. I don't think it applies.
What?
Like its ability doesn't apply to the replaced stealth ability.
Oh yes.
Like if you replace this with another stealth card, the effect doesn't trigger that.
I would need to see the rules policy when it comes out for this one, because my thought is that this needs to stay in play to boost as well. So if you replace this card, it wouldn't boost anymore. But that may be an on-play ability, in which case, even if you get rid of Prowl, it's still pumping the next stealth card.
Well, I think the next stealth card from Azuri's ability, it doesn't come in play. It just comes onto the field. It just switches place.
That is also true. But like, here's the thing with Azuri. No, so what I'm saying is, I don't know if this still boosts the next stealth one if you replace this specific card.
Right.
So Azuri, you Prowl, and then you pull the Prowl out, swing with whatever. Doesn't matter. And then you swing with a stealth ability.
Oh, I see.
That's what I'm talking about. I don't know if that stealth ability still gets the +1. I don't know if Prowl has to stay on the field to boost
I think
or not.
that does work.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like an on-attack trigger, or if that's an on-hit trigger, or if that's a while this is on the chain link trigger.
This is...
That won't even come across on the video. Okay. They have no idea what just happened, but...
So, I think once this is played,
yeah,
I think that ability triggers.
Okay, you think it's an on-play trigger. Okay, so then in theory you can pull the Prowl out, hit with something else, and then play a stealth card and get the boost.
Yes, it will work that way, but if you're
but that's what I'm saying, that's why I need to see the rules and policy thing, just to see for sure.
I still think if you replace this
if you replace this with another stealth card, it will not get boosted, because that doesn't count as playing.
Yeah. At least according to our assumption. It doesn't specify on her card.
Back to about whether it's you play it. Hang on.
It says nothing about play.
Banish the card if it's in. Yeah, it just says play. Yeah. Yep. So, forgot to go back to this. This way of doing it. Yeah, so I think you're correct. I think if you prowled and then you pulled the prowl out and put another stealth card in, that stealth card would not get boosted.
Yeah.
But then if you swung with a third stealth card, that one would be boosted.
That is true.
I think.
But
If we are correct in how it works.
That would mean you'd have to give like a bunch of
Yes,
things
so
to
much
go
going in. Well, actually, it's only one go again. Because you play the prowl, pull it out, put a new stealth card in, then give that stealth card go again,
True,
and
that
then
is
play a
true.
stealth card. But it doesn't mean your entire hand is stealth cards. And also, that is like so much mental math for just 3 power attacks.
Yes. it
That
is.
are not that great to begin
No.
with. The goal with Azuri is not to be stealthing in stealth cards.
Yeah. Unless
There's like much better stealth cards further down. But
maybe.
are they just printing Ravenous Rabble in every set now?
Of course they are.
Didn't this get reprinted recently?
It
Was
might have
this
been the
on another
last.
set?
It might have been in Dynasty for all.
Yeah,
I
was
know.
it in like Uprising or Dynasty?
At the very least,
Wait.
I think it was.
Was it in
Uprising.
Uprising?
I think.
They printed some cards there, like Scar for a Scar got reprinted.
Speaking
What's
of,
Ravenous Rabble? Is that further down?
It might be.
Did they? No. They didn't print Scar for a Scar again, did they? No, they didn't. We're good. We're good. There's no Scar for a Scar here. What? At a rare?
No, it's not a rare.
No.
No. I think it's just further down.
What do you mean? This is in alphabetical order. What? No! The answer is no!
It might be a different card I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Okay, Razor's Edge. Assassin's Attack Reaction. Target card with Stealth gains +3.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's a way to boost your stealth cards.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. It's definitely good in Arachne, which is obviously what they have in mind based on the card art. Because that is Arachne.
This is good for like
Well,
the Bloodpox one.
yes. I was wondering where you're going to go with that, because I'm like, this would be great into the other Arachne decks we built if those cards were stealth.
Yes.
That's the part that hurts this one. But it is really good for the Bloodpox one. That is just true. I don't think you'd probably run all 6 copies though, but you might put like Red Razor's Edge in.
Yeah.
Just because all the stealth cards don't look super good. Like you're going to run them if you're building the new Arachne because you want that going in. But 3 power 0 cost go again's really not that great. But Scout the Periphery. Look at the top card of target hero's deck. Next attack action card you play from Arsenal this turn gains +3? Okay.
It is.
That's
an
playable
action.
in the old Arachne.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And honestly, this is... I mean, that's borderline playable in Rune Blades. I mean, it's this non-attack action card that costs 0. Has go again. I mean, like, there's a non-zero time you're going to be playing something from Arsenal. So +3 from Arsenal is gross. And then the top card is just whatever.
Ironically, this
It's
is
good in Arachne.
This could
because you
also
know
go
what it
into
is.
Fae.
Yes.
On those
It could.
random times you put stuff in the
In the Arsenal, yeah. You could put it in. Briar. Briar could run this. I don't know that you're really looking for more 0 cost non-attack actions, but would you play this over Whispers?
Would you?
Whispers in the deck.
Would
Would you rather opt for or have the potential to give an Arsenal card +3?
I think maybe you would. No, wait. That's
That's-
a lightning card.
I think you would probably put this over Whispers the Oracle, which is a little sad because it was cool getting to play Red Whispers.
It's true.
But
I
you
mean,
have cards that gain go again out of the arsenal that you already want Arsenal. So
and I feel like this plays more towards Briar, rather than
yeah, Whispers is just
We didn't
whatever.
really need. Yeah, we kind of just had it there. 'Cause
Well, it's just there because it's a 0 cost non-attack action card with go again. That's the only reason it's there.
with a decent ability.
Yeah, well, I mean, literally its ability didn't have to do much. It just needs to be 0 cost go again.
This is a decent way to push Briar even further.
Yeah, because she wasn't good enough as it is. And I appreciate them printing this immediately after we upgraded our Briar deck.
Yep.
We got rid of Bramble Spark for Skyfire. Okay, so there's still Whispers. Whisper is still in the deck and can still be replaced. And we're replacing red for red, so that's fine. Okay, Sedate, Stealth. When this hits a hero, create an inertia token. Alright, similar to the Bloodpox token one.
Yep.
It's good. Almost to a tragic level, because they're going to block it, probably, but...
But I mean, will they overblock it?
No, they're gonna block it.
Yes, they will block it.
Yeah, because
otherwise
there's
their hand's gonna go away.
Yeah, their hand's gonna go away anyway. So like they can't keep those cards to use on their own turn.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And so does their arsenal.
Or actually, no, they don't need to block it because inertia happens at the end of their turn.
But before the arsenal? Wait.
I think, or does it happen? Does inertia let you just dump their hand before their turn?
Yeah, I think it does.
Oh, that's dirty.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why I thought inertia is.
Wait, hang on. At the beginning of your end step. Okay, hang on. What does this inertia do? Create an inertia token under their control.
Right.
And inertia says at the beginning of your end step. So if you inertia them, it will happen at the end of their turn.
Yes.
So you can't use this to clear their hand prior to their turn.
Oh, I see what.
So you may not block this then, because you're like, well, I'm going to use these cards anyways on my turn. So it doesn't matter. I'm just going to empty my hand and have nothing left.
Well, that plays well into Azuri's strategy.
Yeah. And I think this one is just like, this is one of the better ones, for sure, just in general, because like it's just a good effect with all the other stuff. Sedation Shot. If it has a name counter, it gets +1. I'm noticing a pattern. When this hits a hero, create an inertia token under their control. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Yeah, I mean, these are all good utility arrows. Lexi already has too many good utility arrows. I don't know what we're doing with all these. But, like, that could make the cut, even.
Right. It does work well against, like, Islander and other mages. That
the inertia is brutal against Islander. Like, Icelander. It's the most brutal against her.
Yeah.
And, like, I actually believe, like, it seems the idea of this is to mess with Ranger. I think Icelander is hit the hardest by these effects.
Yes.
Because you literally, your whole game plan is playing out of your arsenal on their turn.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you need to have cards to arsenal at the end of your turn, and then you need it to stay there. So, like, inertia is absolutely brutal against her. 100%. Which is fine. Like, if they decide they needed to print the card to hit on her this set afterwards, like, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, like, if they think she's too good, like, it makes sense.
I guess we'll find out when we eventually do our round robin. Did we announce that?
We did in the last one.
Okay. Yeah, not to date this or anything.
I don't think she's in the list for that. Oh, I don't think Icelander made that list.
I thought we did. I thought we had like a couple randos. Yeah, a couple randos.
No. Nope.
Oh, I guess we covered.
Dromai, Lexi, Briar, Viserai, Kasai, Faye, Arachne, Dash. Yep. R.I.P.
Well,
and then
we'll
if
never
any
know.
of these new heroes should make the cut. I don't think this new Arachne probably does.
No.
I feel like the other Arachne is probably better, just because those cards have a lot more Gogan. Although you could put those cards in here too.
I feel like he's better for drafting.
Possibly. I think there's a world in which he could be competitive with the other Arachne, but I don't think it will be a huge, like, miles apart kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I don't think Riptide is going to be better than those 8, or like.
No.
I don't think.
I
don't think any of the heroes from this, aside from maybe Azuri. I think there's a world in which Azuri could be, and then maybe like some of the ninjas like Katsu and Aira are now way better because of the name change cards. But aside from that, I don't think any of these cards, like any of these heroes, are going to be so broken that's going to be like, how did we not put that in our top 8?
Riptide might not be broken, but he might be anti-race.
Yeah,
because of all his trap cards.
That
all of the heroes that are in our
the super aggro.
Yeah, they're very aggro.
Maybe.
So he might be able to slow them down enough.
I don't know that he can slow them down enough, though.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Because it's only blocking for 30.
And like the thing is, I don't think any of these are like a Fey where we think the hero, or like none of these are a Dromai where the hero is just going to be so stupid broken that it's like, oh my god, how did we not include that in our round robin? With the only exception being Azuri, only because it's such an unknown. Like Azuri might be obscenely good, but like you really just have to build the deck and then see how it plays. That's the only way we're going to find out. Because like it's just like how many good cards can we find that you're like cheating in for free, and like is that stupid broken? It could be. All right, Seekers prevent the next one damage that would be dealt in Opulent.
Yep. That's essentially.
I like it better than Quelling.
Yeah.
I like it better than Quelling.
It's better than Quelling.
Quelling you can do multiple times a turn, sure,
Right.
but like you have to pay for each time with Quelling, and this lets you opt.
I much prefer it, and I mean they have a whole set of it too.
I think it's still probably not good enough to make the cut, but I do like it better.
This is another drafting armor.
Yeah. Yep. Which is what I consider Quelling, and then a bunch of people were putting it in their counter decks for some reason.
Yeah.
Regardless, even though they're terrible. That is the one thing. Like we have seen big content creators make decks, and one of the big takeaways I've noticed that they tend to put more defense reactions in than we do. And I'm so on that. I feel like I feel like our decks are not bad for not having the defense reactions, and I think we could beat those decks through the defense reactions. But defense reactions are very good for like the 0 block 4, that like, I can understand that decision. I can never understand Quelling. There's just no world in which I can ever justify to myself the expenses of Quelling. And the people who talk about like Helios Mitra and putting it into decks that have much better hats available, it's like I just can't understand it. It's so obscenely expensive. There's no way you're getting the benefits from that at that point. Like, you are emptying your entire hand anyways to block this damage. And you're probably preventing less than if you just blocked. Like, it's just no. And aside, hate it. Hate the Quelling.
But Seekers is okay.
Yeah, Seekers is okay. I'm not. It's not going to make the cut into any of my decks I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe, this would go into the all spells canon. Maybe, because instead of doing the Null Rune, Iron Hide, and you just swap it into whichever matchup it is, this lets you prevent 1 damage in either matchup, and it lets you opt, which is very relevant for Cano. So I could see a world in which I would put Seeker's Myths in the Cano. But that's about it. And that's the only one, and it's only because there is no Spell Gloves in Commoner. So there's just nothing better to use there.
Well, now there are. Kind of.
Kind of. It prevents the damage and lets you opt. It's not awful. Target attack, dagger attack gets +3. Target attack action with 2 or less gets +3.
So this is essentially a worse version of Razor's Reflex.
Yep. That was my exact thoughts too. Yep.
It only targets a card with 2 or less base power, which Razor's Reflex does that too.
Yeah.
The only card that I've found that this affects that's
Is
more than
Reflex off damage, or is that off like base cost? I think it's cost. It's like a cost 1 or less attack.
I think it's
Which is effectively the same thing here.
It is cost. So essentially, there's only one card with less than like 2 power that costs more than 2 that Razor's Reflex wouldn't pay for.
Yep.
And it's a Majestic that hits for 0, but it gains like 7 for every like attack action you reveal for it or whatever.
Oh, okay. I think this card isn't horrible, but what I do think it is that it is just too weak to make the cut.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you want more Razor Reflexes.
It also doesn't give go again.
That's what I was going to say. The only decks that would want more copies of Razor Reflex want it for the go again, and this doesn't do that at all. Whereas, like, every deck that has it just for the boosts, that's probably all the slots you can put towards that kind of thing as is, and Razor Reflex is better. there is no world in which this is really going to be better in commoner, because Razor Reflex pumps swords and daggers.
Right.
This only does daggers, and it gives go again on the second part, and it blocks for more.
And it also targets more.
Yeah. So it targets more things. It gives go again. And it blocks for 3 instead of 2. So it's just better in every aspect than short and sharp.
I guess the only place you'd find this again is in draft.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, you would play this in draft for sure. It's a perfectly good card there.
Mm-hmm.
Generic chess piece. Interesting.
Yeah. So your attack has 1 less power, but cost 1 less to play.
I can't think of any instance in which I would use this, but I could see a world in which there is something where you would use this.
Maybe
So
there's a Guardian card that costs 4 that could take a hit on power, and then you could just pitch 1 card for it.
all of that logic was really sound. and you started talking, I'm like, oh, that's an idea. And then I remembered what all the other chess pieces do.
They do that, don't they?
They, like, Deep Blue gives you 3 resources, Hardened Cross Straps makes it cost 2 less. Like, all of those effects are better than making it cost 1 less.
Right.
So I don't know. I think, honestly, where this is probably best is in the ones that have stuff that costs 0, like 1, that this would drop down to 0.
Okay.
And that don't care as much about the attacks. The most that comes to mind is maybe Dromai. I'd have to look at what I have in Dromai. Because you don't necessarily care what the attack does. You just want to play a red attack that's going to give all your dragons go again. So making it cost less could be really good into like Frostbite matchups especially, where you can use this to negate the cost.
Mm-hmm. This is horrible for Assassin.
It is pretty bad for Assassin.
Mm-hmm.
Not horrible. This is better into Azuri than it is into Arachne, because you're just nerfing your stealth attack more. You're like,
but their
swing for 0!
Their stealth, yeah, but their stealth is 0 already.
Oh, yeah. Was there some stealth cards that cost more than that, or no?
Not in common.
Okay, well, sideboard card for Frostbite matchups.
At least I don't think there were.
Sideboard card for Frostbite matchups.
Yeah.
Joking aside, I actually think that may be true. Because I've talked about how the best way to counter Dromai and things like that is probably to give them a bunch of Frostbite. And this will help. And those, Dromai has a whole slot in the sideboard that's not being used right now by me. Effectively. I have 2 chess pieces in there because I couldn't decide which one was better. So I can just replace one with Soaking G and then bring it in for the Frostbite matchups.
There is another card coming up that costs 2 that I think is Ranger Assassin, or sorry, Ninja Assassin, or it might be generic, I don't remember.
Oh, Springload. This might be the one that the number's wrong on. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it wasn't Trap. Okay, Skybound Shot. If it has an aim counter on it, gets +1. That's it, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Generic.
But the red one is 6 damage in theory, if you can give aim cards a lot.
True.
But it's not super good, though, because it's just damage output. And usually Rangers have better ways to do more damage. Okay, when Spire Sniping is put or turned, okay, face up in an arsenal, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, then put them back in any order. Okay, this is for Azalea.
Yep.
Because Azalea moves the top card into your arsenal, right? You bottom the arsenal card, and then you put the top card in your arsenal. I think that's what she does.
Does this
That's like her ability.
Lexi too? I forget.
Lexi doesn't.
I don't think
No.
no, because she only
Lexi can't flip
she's
it
only,
unless it's an ice or lightning card.
Right. She only does it
That's
from
it.
the arsenal. She doesn't do anything with the deck, I don't think.
No. Nope. But I mean, like opting to is never necessarily bad.
That's true.
It's like it's not a Lexi card. You don't put this into Lexi just because you already have so many good arrows. This one's not making the cut.
Yeah.
If you were going to move new arrows from this set into Lexi, you are definitely looking at infected shot and sedated shot. Those are like the big Lexi things. Spring load. No cards in hand gains +2.
Oh, I see where. Yeah, I think you're right. Because this says it gains 1 power. It's most likely going to be gaining.
Oh.
Yeah, because it says gains 2 power over there.
Yeah, so that's probably it's +2 power for all of them, and then the base damage is what changes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That must be what the person was saying. Yeah, you're not playing this card. I like the art though, but I don't think this makes the cut in any deck.
Yeah, it's kind of niche, very tough to pull off.
It's a limited card. Surging Strike.
New Surging Strike.
Not surprised.
Unless they give it better art.
Yeah, unless they give it better art. But again, I'm going to be honest with you. What this set has told me, like my biggest takeaway from this set is that you don't need Surging Strike anymore at all.
Mm-hmm.
You just use the other cards and pretend they're Surging Strike. Because, like, yeah, it says go again, but it costs 2. Like, that was the biggest problem with Surging Strike. You know why you didn't do Surging Strike combos? I think I'd rather just use the fake Surging Strikes.
Mm-hmm.
Threadbare Tunic. Instant. Destroy Threadbare Tunic. Gain red. Activate this ability only if you have no cards in hand.
Yep.
That does not do much.
Nope.
I'm having a hard time picturing when that would be useful. You needed that one more red resource to activate Fae to get your Phoenix Flame back, to play your Phoenix Flame? I don't know. I'm stretching here.
What's the current one that does something very similar?
What?
The other chess piece that does something very similar. Not.
Are you talking about the sash where you gain 1 red if you've played a red card this turn?
Maybe that's the one.
As an instant? That's the new Draconic one.
Okay, that's probably the one I'm thinking of. But at the very least, that this does something similar, but it's generic.
Yeah. Toxic Tips is neat, except for the problem that they keep printing the same exact armor pieces for Ranger.
Yeah.
Literally all of the new Ranger equipment pieces at Commoner are hat and gloves. In the last set, it was hat and gloves. In the set before that, hat and gloves. Like,
well, I mean,
give us boots, give us chest piece, give us anything else.
If you think about archers, you know, what are they known for?
Sure.
Their gloves. To help them pull the
very first Ranger common equipment piece was gloves. And what they do is they put an arrow into your arsenal. When are you ever replacing those gloves? When are you ever choosing a different glove to put in? It also has Blade Break. If you're about to say that it blocks, that one has Blade Break. That very first one that they ever put out.
No,
Actually, it might not even have Blade Break. It may have Battle Worn.
I was going to say you'd probably choose this for Riptide over the other one.
Maybe if you're not using that many arrows. I still feel like you're probably going to use arrows, though. I haven't seen enough from the traps to make me think that you could just go all trap.
Also, it is Assassin.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Assassin does have a better chance of using this. Just because an attack action card gaining Blood Rot Pox is... That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it works for Assassin. I keep seeing Ranger, and it makes me angry.
Your eyes
It makes
go
me angry, yeah. It's the
blood,
blood haze.
blood pox red.
Yeah. But you would play the Assassin. Yeah, you'd play the Assassin, that's true.
Twin Twisters?
It's probably better than the alternatives.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what we're using, Stubby Hammer and Life Gauntlet. I think it's just Stubby Hammer, actually, wasn't it?
Might be. Virulent Touch.
Okay, can't be played from hand. Interesting.
So it can only be played from any other zone.
Oh, and it makes Blood Rot Pox tokens.
Yep.
Can you...
Never mind, this one costs 0. This is the one I was thinking of that I thought cost 2, but it doesn't.
So, obviously, this is good in Missouri who can cheat it in.
Yep.
Oh, because you can play from the arsenal.
Yes.
So you can arsenal this with the Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
And then play this. Okay. I think if you build Trap Riptide, I think that makes the cut. Okay, this bow still only puts arrow cards into your arsenal.
Ah.
Good to know. That's what I came back up here for. Because all the other bows do the same thing. So you can't use the bow to put this in your arsenal.
Right. Oh,
So you have to.
that means you can't use it to put traps in your arsenal either.
For the bow, yeah. So so you're either arsenaling this normally.
Mm-hmm.
You're using did his quiver put things in the arsenal, or just get something out of the arsenal? Just get something out of the arsenal. The hood can work. The hood makes you pick up your arsenal and then put a new card in your arsenal, I believe. I don't think it has to be an arrow. So that would work. I think the gloves do have to be an arrow that goes in. So not a lot of ways to do this.
Yep.
How does overflex? Reload. If you have no cards, reload works. You can use reload to put that in.
Okay.
Okay. Huh. Okay.
So I guess.
Okay, I think there's a fun Riptide here that's like Blood Rot, Pox, Traps.
Well, I guess they would know, like, if you're using Overflex, that means you're probably gonna be putting that in your arsenal.
Yeah, possibly. Does it put it face up too? No, face down.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they would know.
I mean, if that's what your deck is, sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you don't really care, right? Like, you just overflex.
Yeah.
And do that. And then you can always play the Virulent Touch, and then put an arrow in, and then fire the arrow and get the plus from overflex on that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And for Azuri,
That's 0 cost, which is sick.
for Azuri, if they overblock your stealth card, instead of using her ability, you can just arsenal instead.
Yes. Yep.
Because you can't play it by itself.
Yeah. But that's the important part. I saw the first line and I was like, okay, how do you even play this card? But that's true. You just arsenal it normally and play from arsenal, and that works. The red film is back. The blood anger has returned.
Oh,
The eyes are clouded. There's only violence.
We heard you like Ranger equipment.
Not only, it's like they printed the hood, which is like, it is a common piece of equipment that allows you to restock your arsenal for free. So that's brutally difficult to replace for a Ranger in general. This effect is garbage. This effect is absolutely terrible. When you defend with it, look at the top card of target hero's deck. This is Ranger only. Why do I care what's on top of their deck? I don't have contract cards. What am I doing with that knowledge?
That's funny.
This card is useless. It's useless.
This would have been better in Assassin.
This card is absolutely terrible. It is absolutely awful.
No, wait. It could be effective for Riptide.
Okay.
Because his traps care about what cards are being, I don't know.
You're trying to decide if the trap will do anything or if it's a garbage card in your deck right
I guess
now.
that wouldn't matter because it's what's in
Because
their
it's
hand,
gonna happen
not
regardless.
what's on top of their deck.
I mean, like, all it will do, to play devil's advocate to your point, is they can tell you, is the very next card on top of their deck one that will make this trap better, or do I just use it for the block 3 deal 1 damage now? And just don't care that I don't get the other effect. That is all it will give you, and it's only going 1 card deep to tell you that information.
Yep. Please in the comments, someone tell us a better way of using this, in which you.
I can think of some. To the aforementioned snowstorm, I mean, like, it'll probably make good kindling if you need to light the fire, if your power goes out.
Could it
That's
be
a better
like?
use of it than actually playing this card.
Could it be like those landfills in Texas with magic cards?
Yeah. Forgot about that.
Not to date this or anything.
Yeah, this card just sucks. It's awful. It's garbage. I hate it. It's absolutely useless.
it does make your blood pressure go up and then back down. Maybe it'll go back up again later down in the cards. Who knows? We'll find out.
I mean, we're basically at the end now. We're in the W's.
Don't skip ahead.
Widowmaker. Defense reactions can't be played to Widowmaker's chain link. Okay. Defended by fewer than 2 cards. It has +3. Okay.
That's not bad.
I get what this is for. This is an Azalea card because if
she's dominate.
So if she scraps your arsenal and replaces it with an arrow card, that arrow gains dominate. So if Widowmaker is on top of your deck, or you opted in whatever way to make that happen, and you put this in, it will now have dominate, and so it'll do 7 damage. And you can't defense reaction it.
Yep.
So it's going to do at least 4 damage. Or it's going to do at least 2 damage in the off chance that they have, what is the name of that card?
Brothers of Arms?
Yeah, your favorite one. Not Brothers of Arms, the original one. Yeah, either one of those would
Rally
work.
the Rear Guard.
Rally the Rear Guard.
Yeah,
That's the one that blocks 5. Brothers does 4, I think. Brothers does less than Rally, if I remember correctly. Maybe. No, it doesn't do more. It doesn't do more. At most, it does the same 5.
Okay.
I think Brothers in Arms blocks 2, and you can discard to make it block 4. Whereas Rally blocks 3, and you can discard to make it block 5. But that's like a rare case scenario, and you're still dealing 2
I
over
think
that.
Brothers in Arms, you pay 1. So I think you can pay multiple times. I'm not sure if
No,
that's
I
how
don't
that
think
works.
so.
No.
Brothers in Arms. When you defend with it, you may pay 1, and if you do, it gets +2. Okay, so it's just instead of discarding a card, you pay 1 extra and it blocks 4.
Can you not pay 1 extra multiple
No.
times?
It's just when you defend with it, you may pay 1. You can only defend with the card
I
once.
see. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. They thought of that. They thought of that.
Yep. They thought of your nonsense. Okay, Wither, Stealth. When this hits a hero, create a frailty token. Okay. Yeah.
It's basic.
Yep. I mean, insert all of the conversation I had previously about the inertia one.
Yeah.
I think
the inertia one is at least a little better.
I think the Blood Rot Pox one is a guaranteed block. I think inertia and frailty are ones where they might just be like, that effect's not that bad, I can take it. I think frailty, I think you're actually more scared of frailty than you are of inertia in most decks. If you're Icelander or a Ranger, you hate inertia. But for frailty, like every deck hates that. Every deck doesn't want frailty.
Does frailty affect every attack action?
I believe so.
Okay.
And that's why you would want to block it. Because I think for your whole next turn, it's going to decrease everything.
Okay.
I think. If I remember correctly. Okay, just go back up. I'll just go back up. We'll just look at it. Your attack action cards. Played from arsenal and weapon attacks. So, like, if you're not going to use your weapon and you're not going to use your arsenal, you don't care about this. Okay. But it does everything from the arsenal. Like, so if you play something from the arsenal, that will get decreased, and then in weapon attacks will get decreased.
So it's kind of like an anti-encounter in that respect, I think.
Yeah,
for the ones that have.
If they're firing multiple arrows a turn, it will decrease each arrow.
Yeah.
I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's Blood Rot Pox where you're like, I am not paying for you not take 2, and I can't get chipped for 2 every turn.
Right.
So I think Wither and the inertia one are more likely to not get blocked.
Mm-hmm.
And then Withering Shot creates a frailty token.
Yep.
Okay, that's decent.
I think the
Probably
arrows
doesn't make the cut, though.
are better than the stealth cards, at least.
Possibly. Because they are more likely to hit. I mean, 1 for 5 damage is a good number. I don't think Lexi cares about this one. I think she'll take the other 2. She'll take Infected or Sedating Shot. But I think Frailty is too niche for what she does. Like,
that would be like
it's better with the one that just, whatchamacall it. There's the one that decreases their first attack.
Right. Chilling Ice Fan? What?
Hamstring Shot? Hamstring Shot or something?
Thought that
Oh, is that the pseudo frostbite?
I'm thinking of headshot.
Headshot's the super damage.
Yeah.
Hamstring Shot that's probably the pseudo frostbite, right? their first attack costs more.
Okay.
There's one that you can do that decreases their, I forget what it's called, but it decreases their first attack by a fair amount. And it's probably better than Frailty in most matchups.
Oh, timidity shot?
No, Timidity.
Oh, wait, that's
Timidity
me.
cuts
Dominate.
Dominate. Yeah.
Damn it. Why am I remembering all the wrong cards?
Okay. Set, Arcane Rising, Class, Ranger, Rarity, Common. Just look it up. Was it not in this one?
It might have been in Everfest.
Maybe. Or maybe even Crucible? Thinking of the Crucible one? Those abilities? No? No? Not thinking Crucible. Am I crazy?
I think it's Everfest.
Fatigue
shot,
shot.
yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, have it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was. There we go. I think that's better than Withering Shot. Although probably use lower damage? No, it's same damage.
But it does get an aim counter. So it technically... Or
If
can,
this
it
has
can
an
get-
aim. Yeah, but Lexi doesn't have any aim counters. We just went through that. We didn't put any aim counters, and I don't think one extra damage is enough to change that.
No.
Okay, and now it's all the commons. Now we get the rares, which
Yep.
I don't think we really need to go through these. Now that we're at like quite far into the video, at this
Unless
point,
there's rare equipment.
which I don't think there is. I think the only stuff that was rare equipment was equipment that's already been printed, like Spider's Light.
Okay.
And maybe there was another thing. Kadachi's might have been at it, but I don't know if that was actually correct or if that was a misprint thing. Assassin weapons.
They're majestic, but look at what they do.
2, 1. When this is here, the next time they defend with 1 or more.
It does the same thing as the other daggers for Arachne, just slightly different. Instead of hitting for non-attack actions or whatever, these hit for attack actions or...
If they defend with reaction cards.
Yeah, reaction.
So this just nerfs reaction cards, whereas the other one nerfs a certain kind of...
Yeah.
This nerfs equipment.
Yep.
That's so weird.
Oh, and another
Oh,
quiver.
a quiver that's available to everyone?
Yep, except common.
Yeah. That would have been oh man, that would have been so good for Lexi.
Yep.
Whew. Sheesh.
Is this the Katsu specialization?
The floating dojo. Interesting.
I didn't actually read what they
Wandering with a
do.
purpose. Oh, Benji. Flick knives.
Oh, there's another quiver, by the way. Quiver of the Abyssal Depths. Sounds cool. I think it did something mediocre, though.
No, it shuffles arrow cards with different names into your deck. Which, if you're playing a long game, is not bad, because once you run out of arrows, your game is over for a ranger. This is not awful. I don't know that it's better than the other one, though.
No.
And then we have Assassin chess piece, Ranger chess piece. Hey, Ranger chess piece! We don't get it, though. Generic arms, too. Huh. Alright.
I thought there was another hood for the Ranger.
I didn't see one. Unless the card art was really weird.
It was one with card art.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's just the masks. You're thinking of the masks. Or if you're thinking of the Wayfinder's dress, were you thinking of that? That's kind of a hood.
It was an actual hood. Maybe
Oh,
I'm thinking
Seeker's
of...
Hood. Seeker's
That's
Hood?
probably what I'm thinking
Yeah.
of.
You also don't play that in Ranger.
No. That was generic, right?
Yeah, it was. Although to be fair, like Azalea was one of the very few decks where you would consider Talismanic Lens before they printed the other Ranger hood. And I don't know, maybe her effects are good enough to give up the hood just to have opting. Because like that can make sure you're getting the right arrow into your arsenal when you use her ability. So if you think that that's enough, maybe. But the problem is to use her ability, you have to have a card in your arsenal already. She can't fill an empty arsenal.
Right.
So That's the big downside. But yeah, that's the new cards
Yeah.
for outsiders.
I'm excited for Azuri.
Yeah, I think Azuri is probably going to emerge the best hero out of this. But I do really think there's a world in which Arachne could be better. Oh, yeah, at least in Commoner. I think Azalea will be more fun to build now.
Yeah, I think they did a lot of building for Azalea because they felt like she was a...
Yeah, she was probably one of the worst heroes in the game that wasn't a meme hero. That wasn't a meme hero.
She's not the worst. She's
misunderstood. Well, I mean, like, she was the worst of the normal set heroes, I would say.
She just has problems.
Yeah, lots.
They're trying to fix them.
Many problems. I think, like, of all the main set, non-supplemental set heroes, she was probably the worst. I think every other hero was better. Once you get into supplemental sets, you have Datadol and Cavdane, and then things start to change. Then things start to get a little bit, different there, but yeah.
Do you think you're going to revisit your Azalea deck?
I haven't built an Azalea deck to begin with, so this
You did.
No, I talked about it a lot. I never did it.
I'm probably thinking of either a sealed or a draft.
I did play her in something like that, I feel like. But I have not built her in Commoner yet. I kept talking about it, just haven't gotten around to it. But I'm more tempted to, although that said, I'd be more interested to build Dirtle Riptide, just to see if it could happen. Just build full control Riptide, where I'm just trapping you to death. That sounds more fun, but I do think there's a world in which Azalea is good now.
Then there's strategy, stealth, Azuri. And then
I think Azuri is probably the most fun to build around here.
Stab you in the back stealth.
Arachne is just an aggro deck. It's like building Ira. You just put all the good aggro cards in and you call it a day.
Yep.
Which may actually be good.
I'm
hesitant on it. I'm not sure that giving those stealth cards go again and only one a turn is enough to make that really good.
I still kind of think that red-yellow Arachne is more competitive.
Probably. Although,
we still haven't tried it yet.
To be fair, everything that's in red-yellow Arachne could go into this.
True.
You literally could take that whole deck and then just put some stealth cards in.
Yep.
Which the opposite is true too. You can take stealth cards from this and just throw them in the other one. Because neither decks had ways to give go again, per se, except he does a little bit. So, like, the stealth cards are better for him than they are for the other Arachne. So it's more ways for him to gain go again naturally. But he doesn't have the opting.
But yeah, I think that's about covers it, right?
Yep. And also, Benji and Katsu are here.
Yeah, I mean, Benji got better. I think Benji did get better.
He did.
But
Katsu got some more combo cards.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's right. I think every ninja got better, period. I think that one card is super busted into all ninjas.
Yep.
Aside from maybe Faye. I don't know that benefits Faye, because
Also,
Faye wasn't using combos.
Right. Also, that one ninja equipment that allows you to change names of cards.
Yes, the mask. Except, again, probably not Faye.
Right. No,
probably not Faye.
I'm
but all the other
Crouching
ninjas,
Tiger,
yeah.
Katsu.
Well, I think any ninja could benefit from that that's not Faye. And maybe Benji probably doesn't use that hat either. But yeah, I think every ninja has benefited from this set. The only shame of that being that I didn't really think the ninjas needed to benefit.
They always need it.
I mean, the good news is we put Faye in our top 8, and Faye did not benefit from this.
That is kind of funny.
But like,
Yeah.
Ira and Katsu got a lot better, and they were pretty close to the line, anyways, of being good enough. So
Right, because Faye doesn't care about
combo,
names
so
of
names
cards.
doesn't change anything.
It only cares about
Draconic.
Yeah.
Yep. So Faye probably doesn't use any of this. Benji will use probably the new hood that does like the dagger boosting or something, whatever it was, I forget. And then he has like just a bunch of other random cards that benefit him. Probably not enough to make him super, super good, but
Right.
it will make him even better. And I don't think that deck was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It just was balanced in a format full of broken things. But yeah, so that's the cards from Outsiders. Some exciting things. We'll probably have to do some episodes building some of these. Maybe a Trap Riptide or something. The Dirtle Turtle will end up a podcast deck.
You could put Virulent Touch in Fae. Isn't it generic?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's a hybrid card.
Was it hybrid?
I think it's Assassin Ranger.
You might be right.
Yes, Assassin Ranger.
Ah, never mind.
Nice try with that nonsense. That would have been outrageous. But yeah, so if you like the video, leave a like, comment below, tell us what we were wrong about, what we were right about.
Yep.
If you've never played this game before in your life and somehow stumbled on the video and so know what none of this means. And yeah, subscribe for more commoner content.
Bye.